Games, my guy.
Boom goes the dynamite.
It's only a game. Why did you have to be mad?
Hello, and welcome back to Games My Guy podcast, the esports podcast by fans for fans. My name is Patrick Aches Avery Kenny, and joined as always is Ethan Doc Goose Butler. And for another spicy episode of the Meet the Clean Boys, we have brought in the best gamer in town. He carries us in all of our games. He's just super good on a laptop and a whiz with PowerPoint. Taylor Melvindoo Bogaert, what's up, man?
The key is he didn't say which town that I'm best in.
Yeah,
all the towns.
well, we got to keep it a little bit, aloof. We got to, you're a mystery figure right now, so we got to learn more about you as we go along.
It's true, like a luchador.
Your legend
wearing
precedes
red,
you.
So you're kind of playing with fire here if you're a true luchador. I'm thinking of Matador. Damn it! I thought I had a bit going. I thought I had a good bit. I'm like, oh, this is a good one. The boys will love this.
Yeah, luchador, matador, potato. You know what I mean?
I want to watch a movie about a luchador matador.
It would be fun. A nice mask. You get all the ladies, probably.
So does that mean that he's the cape? Does that he's gonna dress in all red and wrestle the bull? That's how I picture a luchador matador.
I thought you were saying he was gonna pick up Taylor and just shake him like a.
His mask is part of his cape. His mask is attached to his cape, basically.
Oh, so he's like the Royal Guard in Star Wars, those guys with the red, the Mandalorian armor that guard the Emperor.
You mean the
Talk
best
about
boys?
this. I don't watch that.
You don't want. Oh, that's right.
No, we're talking about they were in Last Jedi.
Oh yes, I think that's where I'm.
Snow Guards.
Oh, those guys are great.
Guys with the best moves in town. They never.
Yeah.
They never did beat easy.
Yeah, all those guys that got cooked. Those guys.
Yeah.
That's what I picture.
They did
So
a
what
little
we're saying
dance.
is, those guys are me? Is that what we're saying?
Those guys are the Matador Luchador mask.
Right, okay.
How they're all dressed up. But anyways, enough about Matador Luchador. we talk about Matadors once every episode. That's also something that happens. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But Taylor, we want to know more about you. I mean, being a clean boy, you've been a lifelong friend to both of us. But let's start with it a little bit easy. I mean, what kind of video games do you play?
Well, because I am a dirty laptop boy, I don't play I do play Overwatch with you boys, as we talked about.
Oh yes.
You've kept us sparkly clean for years.
Mm-hmm. But I've always been much more into the single player games rather than the multiplayer. The shoot 'em up games.
Yeah. Yeah. Much more the relaxing side of video games versus sweating in your living room at 3 a.m. kind of video gaming.
In short, the H special.
Yeah, the Patrick surprise is what I like to call that. That is.
Don't get me wrong. I see the appeal.
Yeah. It's fun in the moment, and then you get up from just where you've been sitting all day, and you're like, oh wow, that was my whole
day. Right there.
A part of myself is still on the seat. Oh my god.
You lose a bit of your soul every time.
Oh my gosh. Have you played any the new I know Dead Cells is a big single player game that's going on right now.
I've watched Massey play it for it just seems like you're just doing the same thing over and over again, and it just seems so no Dead Cells is a no for me.
Yeah, it looks very Metroid meets a very intense Korean RPG. That's what it looks like to me. It just looks so intense and so confusing. But I've only watched videos on YouTube. I've never actually played it.
Fair enough. Speaking of Metroid, that is one of the games I wanted to talk about.
Oh, yes, right. I know you are a fairly sizable Metroid lad.
I am.
So what's your biggest what do you like about Metroid?
Well, I started with Metroid Prime on the GameCube.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you boys are familiar or if you've played it.
I like the first person one.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I played a little bit of it back in its heyday.
I think I touched it.
You touched a disc, one of those tiny GameCube discs.
Yes, I put my hand on it. It said thank you, but no. So I respected, and then I left because I don't know. I always got really bad anxiety trying to play single player games because I always freak out when trying to get to a save point. Like I bought Star Wars Fallen Order last year on Boxing Day. I've not opened it.
Like at all?
No, I keep saying I'm going to. Like I put it out in display where I can see it downstairs by my chair, but I just keep looking. I'm like, oh, tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. Maybe.
Well, the first step is always just touching the disc, like you did with Metroid Prime. So
yes, I like that.
Yeah, the first touch will tell you everything you need to know about the game.
Just trust in the Force.
Oh man, have you played most Metroid games, or is it mostly the GameCube?
No, I've played a lot of them. There was through my 3DS and some virtual kind of console stuff. I've played like Fusion and Zero Mission, and there was Metroid Prime Returns, which was a remake of Samus 2 or Metroid 2, I think.
Yeah. Well, what's
yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say. So what's the what were the guys' names? Like, what's the enemies' names in that game? Like the brains that come and attack you.
Oh, Metroids.
That's what's called Metroids. That's right.
What's the name of those enemies?
Yeah,
those weird guys with the little.
Yeah, those.
They're not Metroids.
That can't be right. That can't be right.
I've played the game, Taylor. I think I know what Metroids are. It's the armor.
It's the Metroid is the girl you play, right?
Yeah.
See, I know that. I know that it's a girl right in there.
Yeah, I heard
didn't know that,
Metroid
did
was
you?
the name of the ship.
You thought it wasn't that, but it is that. Come on.
How dare both of you?
Yeah, I know. Well,
invite me on here. Disrespect my favorite game franchise.
And we're sitting here still trying to dig ourselves out of the hole that we dug ourselves. So that's fun. That's a good time. Oh man. But Ethan, you said that you had some hot goss for us Overwatch boys.
Oh boy. Well, I know Taylor is quite attuned to this, as we all know. He pays attention sometimes, and he's
got my ear to the ground.
Yeah, he keeps track. But yeah, man, like dumping off of Metroid jumping right in to the DOS, the perfect transition. Man, everything happened this week. Let me tell you. Well, not everything. I'm just being over dramatic, but a few things happened this week.
Hey, it's everything to us, man.
Like, let's think of something. What's something that Taylor might be interested in here? Let's see here.
Just talk. I'll be here listening.
Boston signed someone. That's nice. His name's Stand One. He's a good boy. He came from Shanghai.
Yeah, Stand One's pretty good.
Yeah, he's not bad. We'll see how it goes. I think it would take a lot of pressure off Fusions, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so Boston finally is making moves. People seem to be. The hope is returning to the fandom once more.
Yeah, so Boston, you have Stand One, you have I'm 37 now. I'm 37, long Toronto Defiant player from way back when, season 1.
Do you remember, Taylor, his famous moment where he Danny Lim he was interviewing him?
I remember this. Yes.
Over Korean, I'm 37 just nodded along and then grabbed the mic right from him. It's just like, yeah, man, okay, this is really what went down today. And Danny just stood there flummoxed.
Oh, it was legendary.
How dare you? Did you hear that? You see his eyes, just the how dare you?
Yeah.
How dare you do this to me?
I'm getting paid to say this twice, but how dare you make me, you stand me up in front of all my friends.
And you touched my microphone. No one touched the microphone. I've seen Danny Lim swat people's hands away before. But I am
because he knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, apparently, because I think it's a lot of the Korean players actually they go to grab it and they hold it like this, and Daniel Lim knows that, so he's just like, I think he smacked someone's hand.
Got to keep those friggin' flies away, those kids away.
They want it.
They're jokesters, those boys.
Bunch of silly boys. But yeah, like Stand 1's pretty good. I think it's pretty exciting for Boston fans. But I'm just going to say right now, the San Francisco Shock, not the whatever I just said, or let's just put it this way: they're like Majin Buu from Dragon Ball Z. Okay, they're collecting all the Dragon Balls, the DPS players, they're just absorbing them into their gullet, and they're just bonding with them. They're making them part of their body, their form, and they're just not letting everyone else have fun. Okay, if you think of a DPS player, they're not even getting like. There are 5 of them right now. 5 DPS players. Paris doesn't have a team.
Paris doesn't have a full team, and the Shock just bought everyone.
Yes, Houston apparently. Man, Houston, like 2 players, I think that Houston wanted. The Shock were just like, yoink, this is ours now. Like Houston was about to sign Nero. Like they had, I think they were right down the wire. And then the Shock came in at like the 11th hour and just like, what up? And he's like, yo, hello.
I think this is mine, and just picked up Nero from the scruff and just pulled him out of the room. Well, I guess this is my time to go. Sorry, boys, I'm going to go shoot boys somewhere else.
Krusty walked into Cool Matt's office, stared him down. Cool Matt wet himself a little bit, and then Krusty walked. Nero was in the room, like in a chair, like principal's office. He walked in, just stood there with his arms crossed. Cool Matt stood like all stare and said, "You better go with him." And then he just walked out with Nero.
Yeah, no words were shared. Just Cool Matt just looked up and was like, "You can take him. It's okay. You can take him.
We'll get the next one.
Yeah. There's always next season. Okay."
Right? There's other players. Oh, okay. We'll get like a main tank. And then Huck walked into Cool Matt's office, punched him in the face, kicked his chair over, and forcibly dragged Stan 1 out of there and brought him to Boston.
Pretty sure there's still claw marks.
Yes, that's how Huck does business. How do you think he got me on? I walked into O2 Blast and said no.
Yeah. Now, Melvin, one of the first things I learned about you, even before video games, like when I met you in person, one of the first things I learned about you was that you are probably the single biggest Scooby Doo fan that I've ever met in my entire life. How does it feel to be the number 1 best in the world?
In your life.
In my life.
I want to
how does it feel in my small group of people that I know throughout the world to be the number 1 Scooby Doo fan out of all of them, out of every single one?
I gotta tell you, Pat, it feels great to be up at the top here. It's a strange thing because I just fell into it, and I kind of fell into like I have to keep loving this, and I have to keep up with things because I feel a responsibility now.
Yeah.
Because I'm a moderator of a Scooby Doo forum, I need to keep up with the news. I need to let people know what's going on. I need to keep up with the discussion threads.
Yeah.
It's pressure. There's a lot of pressure, and I'm. It's a stressful part of my life that I don't talk about.
Are you handling it so well though?
Yeah. So I'm sorry. You're a moderator of a Scooby.
Get me out! I need out.
Your room, it looks more like a prison now that I really look at it.
Are those bars on those pictures over there?
It's all pictures of Scooby Doo.
There's boxes of Scooby snacks, boxes.
I can't.
That's all they feed me.
I can't sustain off Scooby snacks alone.
They're not a real food. I'm not sure how this can be stressed enough. They're dog treats.
So wait, are you still a moderator of that?
I am a moderator of that, and I am the only active moderator.
Oh, Jesus.
Which means that a lot of weight is on my shoulders, and because I am probably narcissistic and I think I'm the only one who can do the job right, I haven't hired anyone else to do it.
That's fair. Sorry,
this means I can make all the rules and ban who I want, and
Yeah, it's your domain.
Like Melvindoo, you can be a ruthless dictator.
Exactly.
And who am I thinking of? Why do you think of Strappy Doo?
No,
Who am I thinking of, Taylor? You're the Scooby Doo.
Melvindoo.
Okay, perfect. I just want to make sure I got my do facts right.
So what is like what's a hot Scooby-Doo meme right now? Like, of course I know Shaggy is God. That's one of my favorite memes. Absolutely.
Fuck, that's good.
It was not one of my favorite memes, let me tell
Oh,
you.
no.
Because that's one that reached outside of the walls of the subreddit, and then everyone thought they were so original and funny when they came to the Scooby-Doo Reddit, and they're like, Shaggy. And that was like 2-3 weeks of like constant posts of just that. And the thing is, like, it's a funny meme. It's a funny meme. But I work hard on the rest of the subreddit, and then it just watching the Shaggy meme get 500 upvotes when your discussion thread gets 3. It's just,
You should have used more than 10% of your power then, Taylor.
Should have.
That was your first mistake.
Mm-hmm. I'm not bitter, I swear.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like with you, you're having active discussions with the community, and this Shaggy meme just comes in and steals your fire. I can totally see why you would be upset about that.
Thanks for understanding. You're the first.
You know what, Taylor? I never saw it from your point of view in this sense. I just laughed along with the memes. I saw Shaggy and like 10% of his power or whatever it was, and I saw one where he was resurrected, and I was like, yeah, that's great. I never thought about how for you it must be living hell.
Yes.
It
was, but it was short-lived because internet time is like very short.
What is the name of the subreddit so we cannot bring that meme back?
The subreddit is r Scooby Doo.
Excuse me, guys. Just for
That's it.
VR/Scooby Doo.
I got it.
Wow.
It's all mine.
Wow, that's good. That's like you're like low key celebrity right now.
Yeah, you're the most high profile person we've had on this show.
It's true.
I have a lot of power. And I don't know what to do with it, obviously.
Yeah, you're just
use it.
Yeah, you need to make the next greatest meme.
Pick another character and say they're the devil.
If what Pikachu has taught us anything, you just need to find some weird frame of like a random Scooby-Doo episode and then just make that a meme.
It has to be the most low res quality of that frame.
Yeah,
there's some amazing
all the
pixels. Shaggy.
That's literally what I was thinking. I feel like Shaggy with like a 20-foot tall sandwich in the background of a shot, I feel like would make a perfect meme.
I'll think about it.
These are GMG license ideas here, so we're just gonna need a little credit in the photos and memes you create.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I consent to everything.
Our licensing fee is reasonably affordable. We'll have our lawyer talk to you and.
Ooh.
Yeah, but the only thing our lawyer is Peach, so we can't we don't. Yeah, and English is a no-go, so we'll have to figure out a different way to communicate with her.
Her business hours are between 1 a.m. and 1:15 a.m., so you really have to, be ready to meet.
Work within her schedule. Sorry, work within per schedule. There we go. I had to get it out.
That's good.
I had to get it out. Do you have like a favorite, like I know there's a lot of Scooby Doo, and I'm sorry that we're talking about so much Scooby Doo. It's just now I'm on it.
We're on it. It's okay.
What is there like a certain episode that sticks out in your mind from Scooby Doo that like you love or that you think is so funny for all the wrong reasons?
Do you boys know the original series, the Scooby Doo Where Are You?
Is that the one with the caveman meme?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That we're out here and he's in there.
But what I want to know is
where's
the caveman?
Oh my god, was that the one with like, let me just swoosh right in, swoosh, and then just. What am I thinking of? That's Scooby Doo, isn't it?
I think so. Is it?
No, that's the YouTube poop of Scooby Doo.
Oh
yes. So it's not actually Scooby Doo.
Wait, so they don't actually say swoosh in the show?
The catchphrases are zoinks, jeepers, jinkies,
Not swoost?
rut-row, and not swoos. Not once in the history of Scooby.
Damn it.
Not a single swoosh to be found.
I thought that was a real quote.
Your life is a lie.
I thought let me swoosh right in. You know how many times I say that in my everyday life? A lot.
And no one knows, and even the niche demographic that might know what you're talking about doesn't know what you're talking about.
Like 2 people will know what I'm talking about, and they're Kanan and Kieran.
Well, they probably like it.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry for distracting. Please continue.
That's
I'm
okay.
I'm just recovering here.
There are some amazing episodes in the first season. There's I think it's called A Night of Fright is No Delight. That's with the 2 green ghosts.
Ah.
Remember that one?
That you just unlocked a memory from literally like a good 18 years ago. Yes, I do remember those.
One of my favorite things in the entire Scooby-Doo universe is there's this moment where, because they have to stay in the mansion all night, or else they don't get to keep the fortune from Colonel Beauregard Sanders, who was leaving the money to Scooby-Doo, right? But he's
Yeah, of
also got
course.
these relatives there.
Of course.
He's got cousin Norville, I think, or cousin Norbert, and one of the the dude, like these 4 cousins or nephews or nieces or whatever, and the second to last one is sweet cousin Maldehyde, and it's just like this crotchety old woman. And then last of all, they go to Scooby Doo, and he's just sitting there like with a cheesy grin on his face.
That's perfect, man. Like, that's just goddamn.
What? The best episode.
Why? I have one follow-up question. Why was Scooby-Doo super so psyched in that moment?
Because I think he was excited to be being talked about as one of the people who's going to inherit the fortune. And you know, he's a ham. Phil himself tells him all the time how much of a ham he is. We're talking about Scooby-Doo alive here. I'm sorry, guys.
No, it's my
about
favorite
Scooby-Doo.
thing. I'm crying. Oh my god.
Yes. But yes, I have a Scooby-Doo related question.
Please.
Now you know, Taylor, a very important crossover happened in recent years with Scooby-Doo.
Oh, here
It was known as Scooby Natural, when the supernatural boys, Sam and Dean, found themselves in the middle of a Scooby-Doo episode. What was your reaction to the episode? Because I know I was a big fan, because I'm a big Supernatural fan, and seeing Dean literally try and have sex with Daphne was on repeat was quite fun. He was very respectful. He was very respectful, but it was fun.
Oh gosh, was it fun.
Oh gosh, I loved it. But no, and Castiel was in there. He's just having a hoot with Shaggy and Scooby. He doesn't understand their joke because he's an angel. But what was your reaction to Scooby Natural?
As someone who's never watched Supernatural ever, I did watch the episode, and I had a blast. It was fun. I thought it was weird seeing the violence and like the death and the blood, because that's not a Scooby mainstay. Decapitations and things like that, you know.
Of course.
But I thought it was a lot of fun.
Good.
I felt weird about the Daphne thing. I didn't think it was as fun as you.
Well, when I say fun, it just fits in Dean's character. Just he had a crush on Daphne when he was a child, and he actually got to meet her. He was like, oh my god. And then he kept trying to set Sam up with Velma, and it was a whole thing. And
yes. So the cool thing about what we've been talking about is that Scooby Natural episode is based on that Green Ghost episode I was talking about. So they go back into that universe and they sort of reimagine it.
Oh, I see.
So you get Sweet Cousin Maldehyde and those guys too. But I think Nephew Norbert gets his head cut off. I think that's the guy who...
Excellent. But see, Patrick, here's a reason for you to watch Supernatural. It just... all you have to do is wait maybe 13 seasons, and you can get into Scooby Natural. It's one episode. but it's great.
Scooby Natural is one episode,
Yes.
Just one episode. You can just pop it in.
and
No,
that's
no,
it.
no. You have to watch the whole
Just
show.
play it.
You need to understand.
I see. So sorry. This is like the people from the Supernatural universe being turned into a cartoon.
They get transported into the cartoon world.
This sounds very
like a
Fairly
genie or
Odd Parents
djinn.
y.
Actually, I think it's not a fairy this time. I believe it's either a djinn or an angel related shenanigans.
Well,
This time.
Ethan, you got to get back on me about that stat.
I will. I'll do some research.
Please and thank you.
I'll collaborate with Taylor on this. We will watch the episode.
Oh my gosh. Well, speaking of fandoms, like Scooby Doo, that's a good one. Do you have any other?
One of the top ones,
Let me-
for sure.
I've already decided the name of this episode is Melvindoo, Where Are You? That's what it's going to be called.
Perfect.
Yeah.
We've
So
had a Dragon Ball Z
That's
reference.
so
We've
good.
had Scooby Doo. We've talked about Supernatural. We're on a roll here, to be honest. We're just the
You got your
biggest.
Dragon Ball Z reference in.
we got
Good.
that. Yeah.
No.
The checklist is almost done.
I don't think we've talked about video games though. Has that happened?
Wait, next podcast. We'll talk about that next podcast. That's fine. That's whatever. Anyway, so Shaggy.
What is the intricacies of the amount of caloric intake he does every episode? I believe the average adult should be eating around maybe 2,000 calories to maintain body weight. Shaggy clearly eats between 2 and 15,000 calories a day. So how is he alive?
I refuse to answer that question.
Hard hitting journalism, Taylor. I'm hitting you with these hard questions.
Okay, I swear to God, it's my last Scooby Doo question, and then we'll move on. I swear to
No,
God.
no, really. No, really. No, this is it. This is
The last one. What is your favorite obscure Scooby Doo character?
I know not a lot of people are a fan, but I really think Flim Flam's pretty funny.
Flim Flam.
Do we like Flim Flam? Is anyone?
He's one of the ghosts, right?
No, he's
No, I
from the 13 Ghosts of Scooby
That's
Doo.
it. Yeah, I knew it was from 13.
Oh, I see. Yes.
Because there was Vincent Van Ghoul, who's awesome.
That's amazing.
He's Vincent Price, and then they had a new character. You know, it was fun to add in a little kid character to mix things up.
Oh, jeez.
That's what Scrappy was originally, and then they thought, let's do it again, and they threw in Flim Flam, this like little con artist kid. And him and Scrappy are best friends, and they pull all these cons on all the real ghosties.
Oh wow. So you must have loved Monster High then, or not Monster High? What's the Halloween movie of Scooby Doo where they're at a ghoul camp, a camp for like little mummies and vampires and stuff?
Scooby Doo and the Ghoul School.
The Ghoul School, that's right. That was a big watch for Halloween when I was a kid.
Yeah,
I
our
love
buddy Kieran really likes that one too.
Well, he always quotes the leader
The
of the other camp. I can't remember
He
what
says,
the
all the way with Callaway.
Oh, that's the one. All the way with Callaway. Oh my gosh.
That's our new battle cry whenever we play.
All the
Any
way.
game now. It's just anytime we're going in for a fight, all the Callaway.
Yeah.
Pat Chargin, all the way with Callaway.
See, the thing is, because I've been on Push to Talk, I've secretly been saying that to myself this whole time.
Oh God, you've been keeping it from us, guys.
Yeah.
Like, come on, Aches, all the way. All the way with Callaway. Come on.
What's that chatter?
Flush
That's
some-
not Callaway.
Flush some water on my face. Go.
You have a little like water basin beside you, like an old stone fountain. Oh, come on.
You sack of wine. That's it.
Oh, great quotes. Agamemnon, what a guy.
Yeah, and there's our last thing on the checklist. Is to get a Troy reference in there.
There you go.
Tough,
Yeah.
but you managed to get one in.
Yeah. Well, we're winding down here for the podcast episode. I was thinking if Ethan, if you had any more hot goss for us, if there's any other things heading down the chute right now.
I do have something about a player I think Taylor will be very familiar with, actually.
Oh.
Well, the Vancouver Titans finally, to save my heart, from just collapsing into crumbs because there's been no news, the Vancouver Titans signed 3 players, one of whom Linkser. Finland's gift to esports is in Canada now, so that's pretty fun. I think
it is fun.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good one. There was like a breadcrumb trail of tweets that were going out, kind of like hinting that Linkser was, or like a mystery person from Houston was moving to Canada.
Yes.
Like what were they? A lone cowboy walks down the Oregon Trail, and like that was like a tweet from someone who was like leaking stuff.
It was Halo of Thoughts was putting out like, the lone cowboy with nothing started with nothing more than a sniper rifle, is leaving Texas and making his way down an extended trip down the Oregon Trail, or something like that. And he never actually answered that riddle, to be honest. He just kind of left it there. So that was a week ago until yesterday, and finally everything was revealed, and I felt good.
Yeah, well, because people were thinking that it wasn't Linkser, right? People were thinking that it was someone else.
There was thoughts that it might be Onidad, mostly from me, because that's the word cowboy. I tried to put my detective hat on here. I just like in Scooby Doo, you see. I tried to follow the clues, and one of them was cowboy, and I thought, you know what has cowboys? Dallas Cowboys. He's talking about a player from Dallas. Who's a player from Dallas that's available? Who holds a sniper? Not Decay. He's never going. Only God. The boy.
Yeah. Eureka.
Swoos. He's in.
Swoos.
Linkser swoosed into Vancouver alongside Fire and FRD. The Titans are maybe 1, 2, or 3 signs away from being a solid roster.
So who's on their team?
Oh boy. Shredlock, Fire, FRD, Dalton, Linkser, and Rolf. The old boy.
Yeah, Rolf is another old Canadian boy who was brought onto that team basically like when the team basically had a huge meltdown and they had to rehire a whole new roster, and Rolf was just one of the boys who just came on because he's from Vancouver. But the Vancouver Titans decided to keep him for this next year, so it's going to be interesting to see how he holds up. It's going to be interesting. Rolf.
He's good old Rolf, all the way from
a lovely guy.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. It could be pretty good. We'll see. GM was re-signed by Shanghai, so that's pretty fun. He left the team, pulled an EQO, and came back to the team. And Glister speaking of, I talked about Dragon Ball Z as we do. Glister was signed to the Shot, so the season's over pretty much. We can just fast forward maybe 2 years, and maybe someone will be the Shot then.
Just pack it up and see what it's gonna shake out when all 9 of those DPS players go to a different team. Because
it's just all we know is our friend Kanan Legault is obviously he's the biggest Shot fan I know. He always talks about how much he loves the Shot. He loves the Shot. Hit the Shot in season 1. Has not watched, just on the fluke. Hasn't really watched the league ever since, and just happened to pick the team that's the best in the world just by accident. And so,
lucky boy,
that guy.
Literally. Oh man.
Yeah.
Well,
yes, that's me there.
Before you unceremoniously dump me on the curb.
Yes.
Can I ask you boys a video games question?
Oh,
absolutely.
Please do.
I'll put you on the spot. You're always putting us on the spot. How's it feel?
Oh my god.
I don't like it.
I'll tighten my hat for this one. But what's up?
I didn't know we were wearing hats.
Well, on my Metroid Prime theme, I wanted to talk because it's a space game. It's a horror game in a lot of ways, really, and that's really what I love about it. Is how frightening it is actually if you're playing alone. But I wanted to ask about video game moments for you two. If you have a memorable, scary moment from a video game or a scary video game you've played that you want to talk about.
Ethan, I'll let you go first.
Shit. In terms of horror games, I don't know if I've played a lot, but I'm trying to think of certain moments in the games I played. When I played Arkham Asylum, I think it was, Killer Crotch was pretty spooky. He's fun to battle, but like you never know where he is. He's under you. He's swimming around. You have to leap all over the place. You're just a guy in a bat costume, and it's spooky. So that in terms of horror games, that's memorable. It's not even horror really, but that's what comes to mind.
That game's pretty spooky. It gets spooky at times.
It can be, yeah. And like I never beat any of the other ones. I have that one. But in terms of memorable moments, I don't know why I thought of the trailer for Halo Reach, like the live action trailer for Halo Reach.
Oh yeah.
To get the bomb, it's like save Reach, and it's like one of the most emotional things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So that comes to mind too.
Yeah.
That should be scary in certain people.
It's true. For me, I have like some specific memories, but I believe it or not, when I was a kid, I was really afraid of video games. Like when I was younger, I was like scared to play video games by myself.
You wrote a whole show.
I know. Well, this is when I was like grade 1, grade 2.
Okay.
I don't know. I just like I was nervous about the responsibility of like handling this person's life. You know what I mean? Like I was always like super spooked about that.
Wow,
but in my,
deep.
I don't like it, that like because I was always playing first person shooters. It was like I was like, oh man, like I am this person. Like if I like mess up, then like that's bad, and like I don't want to be responsible for that happening. Very sensitive kid. Anyways, so I one of the first like horror games that I ever played was called Fear. It was like an Xbox exclusive one, and it's just like a like spooky shooter, like go through stuff. There's like zombies and stuff. But I remember playing the first level, and I was on my Xbox and I was playing it, and nothing was happening. And like so there was like some kind of spooky stuff. Like there was like a bloody chair at one point, and I was like, oh, well, this is fine. Whatever, this is fine. I'll just keep going. Everything's fine. Like I shot like one of the monsters, and I was like, oh man, this is so easy. Whatever. And then it got to a point. It was at the very end of the level, and you have to get into this like crawl space to like get underneath and like enter a different room. And I was just going through it, and I was like, game's over. Like this is obviously near the end of the level. Like whatever, I'm all done. And I'm just like cruising, and then I hear breathing, and I was like, oh. Okay, and like at this point I hadn't like checked all the buttons, so I was like still figuring out like on the controller how to do everything, and I was like, it's like really dark in here, so like I keep hearing the breathing, and I'm like looking around and I can't see anything, and like the reticle doesn't turn red on enemies, so like you don't know if you're looking at anything, so I'm like, okay, whatever. So like I'm like I need to like lighten up this room, like maybe like I have a flashlight or something. I just go in, like see if I have a flashlight. I go on the settings and I look, it's like one of those, it shows you all the buttons where everything goes. I click the flashlight and there's a freaking ghoul like right in front of my face. And I scream. I broke the controller wire. I like flew it out of my hand. I was like, ah! And I took that disc out, put it back in the rental from Video Flix, and I never touched that game again, ever.
I think you made the right decision.
Like getting flashbacks from it, man. It was so scary, and like I thought I had that game all figured out at this point, but
So the ghoul was breathing? Is that who was breathing in your dirty face?
No, it was the ghoul. It was like this like ghoul thing. But I remembered it was just like a straight line, and I was like, this can't be anything. It's whatever. It's probably just some weird bug. But it was right there, and it got me. It was so scary. Fear, a 2008 classic. Everyone should go play that.
Go fire up your Xbox.
This episode brought to you by the 2008 title Fear.
Also brought to you by Siphon Filter for the PlayStation 1.
And Scooby Doo, it's for you.
Are there any good Scooby Doo games?
You know, that's something I'm not all that familiar with. I know that there are lots of Scooby Doo games, like for the Game Boy Advance and the DS, and there's one game I think was for the PC. I think it was Night of 100 Frights. And people talk about that as like a classic Scooby Doo game, and it like kind of replays a lot of the old monsters from the original series.
Oh.
So that's why people love it. It's like kind of going through and playing as a video game and going through the old mysteries.
Interesting.
One day I'll play it, but
Yeah, well, I
Still
mean,
get there.
yeah, if you ever become a streamer, that should be what you do is Scooby Doo games.
they haven't made a new one in like, I don't know, probably 8 years.
It doesn't matter. I remember one time with Tana watching this guy stream Minesweeper, and that was it. He just streamed Minesweeper. And
Yeah,
he
That's
didn't stream
all
anything.
night.
Yeah, and there's people that just stream chess now, like
Chess is
grandmasters. Grandmasters are getting computers and just streaming themselves playing online like all day, and those get huge views now too. And Taylor, if you ever feel bad, just know that I still play Halo 3, so that should put you right at ease. That is a 10-year-old game. Holy mackerel!
It's a classic.
Yeah, that is an ancient game that I still play quite often. But that brings us to the end of our podcast episode. Taylor, thank you so much for coming on.
It's been
Thank
a pleasure.
you boys for having me.
Oh,
This has been lots of fun.
oh yes, yeah. It's always nice to see another clean boy, meet a new clean boy, and a new clean boy.
Especially one who's looking so clean,
Exactly.
so pretty.
Yeah.
I showered for you.
Thank you. I did.
And with that, we will see you all next podcast.